Good morning, traders. Welcome to the market call for today, being the 27th of July 2026. We're excited to have you all here join us on today's market call. My name is CJ, and together with me we have Avi, Cynthia, and Lekon, who are going to be sharing their thoughts on the market call for today, and various currency pairs are going to be looked at and analyzed together with you, so you don't miss out on any major moves that are about to play out in the market. This is the market call brought to you by VFT and the trading team. Welcome to the market call once again. Quickly, we're going to head straight into the charts. Wherever you're watching us from Lagos to London to New York, you are welcome. Let's begin as we analyze gold against the dollar. Now, starting off on the daily time frame for gold against the dollar, we can see how gold is making some bullish moves to the upside. After the break of structure that happened last week, Friday, we've been seeing more and more pushes to the upside on gold, and we're expecting that to continue playing out. But then we saw how this particular order block right here became a resistance for gold, and right now it is gearing up for a possible break of this resistance point right here. So if that should play out, we're going to be seeing a strong breakout on gold all the way to the upside, grabbing various liquidities that are residing above. Talking about liquidities, one of the very first one we're going to be targeting would be this right here, somewhere around 4,204. Seeing how gold has struggled to break below 4,000 price points because of the interest around this price, we'll be seeing possible move of gold all the way to 4,250, and that should be playing out this week. We're also expecting Fed news release this week. Shortly, we're going to be looking at the calendar for the week and see major news releases that we're expecting. But before then, let's run a quick analysis. So on gold, on the daily time frame, you can see how last Friday's candle closed right here. You can see it closed as a doji, and this candle is already resuming more like an evening star pattern, a morning star pattern rather. So we're expecting a possible strong buy on gold this morning as we trade it further and further to the upside. This is what we're expecting to play out on gold. If you look at it on 4-hour time frame, you see that structures have been broken to the upside, and a quick retracement was done last week. Right now, it is gearing up for a bullish expansion. On the 1-hour time frame, same thing is playing out. We're seeing this bullish expansion come into play this morning. So we're expecting a stronger buy on gold all the way to the upside to take out the liquidity points we mentioned earlier. So this is what we're expecting to play out on gold this morning. All right, so let's look out for the possible trade we're going to be taking today. For today, we saw how that price is struggling to break below this order block right here. So this could be the place that would engineer a buy on gold to the position where we said we were going to be targeting. So seeing this, however, we're going to be taking a buy after a quick sell to this downside. Yes, I know I said we're looking for a buy, but then we want to see a retracement into a point of interest so that we'll get price at a discount point. So I'm waiting for price to get into this region here, and then I'll be looking forward to a buy. This is an order block, and this is a previous support, previous resistance level that was broken. So price might be enticed to return to this place here before a strong buy to the upside. So this is what I'll be looking out for today. So a buy to that particular price point I just showed you guys. Now let's move over to other pairs as we quickly run our technical analysis this morning. So for gold, I'm looking for a buy from somewhere around here. Big target would be here, but the overall target is still upward. So this is the first trade I'll be looking forward to taking today on gold. Okay, on 5 minutes time frame, there's nothing much to show around here, except for this particular price point we analyze here. So we'll be looking forward to a buy on gold this morning as we execute our bias. Now let's quickly look at GBP, JPY, and the yen pairs. Now looking at the yen basket on the daily time frame, it has made a strong sell to the downside, broken the previous point, which was right here. Right now, we're expecting a possible retracement into this particular level that it broke off from, and then a continuation to the downside. So for gold this morning, I'm expecting a buy into this region here, and then a sell-off backwards. So this is what I'm anticipating to play out on gold. On the yen basket. So okay. Okay, sorry about that. Let me quickly just show you guys. So here, all the way here, this is what we're expecting: a retracement and then a continuation, because that's further extended its bullish momentum to the downside. So we're expecting a retracement and then a continuation afterwards. Now on GBP/JPY, we're expecting similar thing: a retracement and then a continuation back to the downside. So this is a retracement that is playing out. After this retracement, we're expecting the bullish move to continue. Now, seeing that GBP/JPY has already retraced more than the others, GBP/JPY is currently consolidating for 4 days in a row now. We want to see the others give a proper retracement, and then all of them together would resume the uptrend back upwards. So for GBP/JPY, I might be staying out on this one, and I would want to see what price is going to do on GBP/JPY moving into the remaining part of today. So for GBP/JPY, I would want to just stay out. You can see how far it has been ranging for a couple of days now. I would want to wait it out and see when the others resume the uptrend. Then I'll come and join the trend on GBP/JPY. Okay, so my analysis on GBP/JPY is bullish. However, at the interim, I'm going to be staying out to wait out price consolidation before an expansion. Then for Euro/JPY, if you look at it carefully on the daily time frame, you see that it has broken structure to the upside, waiting for a retracement, just like the yen basket, and just like GBP/JPY has done in the previous week. We'll be waiting for that proper retracement and then a continuation to the upside. So this is Euro/JPY's move, and it is slowly retracing. Once the retracement is complete and we see a minor structure shift to the upside, we're going to be taking the trade and riding it all the way upward. So this is what we're expecting on Euro/JPY. So for gold this morning, we're expecting a buy. GBP/JPY, we're staying out. Euro/JPY, we're waiting for a proper retracement and then resumption back to the upside before we execute our trades for today. These are the things we're looking out for in the market. So quickly looking at the calendar for this week, we're expecting some CPI from Australia. We're expecting interest rate from the US. There's been a little pressure on the interest rate because of the geopolitical tensions, and then because of some economic factors surrounding the US. And there are some other news that are coming out of the US. So we're expecting a possible increase in the interest rate. But then there is also another faction that is in for leaving the interest rates as stable as it is. It has been at 3.75 for a couple of months now. So we might see a strong debate before that date. That is going to be on Wednesday by 7 p.m. GMT+1. Whenever that comes out, we're going to give a quick rundown on that on the market call or Telegram page. So be sure you are added there and be sure you are paying attention to the information coming out from there. We also have GBP/USD. We have the GBP monetary policy still on 3.75. We might see it left flat because there's been a strong vote for that particular interest rate, which is 3.75%. And across 9 votes, we've been seeing 7 votes on 3.75 for a long time coming. So majority is voting in favor of leaving the interest rate flat for GBP. And then for Japan, of course, we know Japan to be one who would leave their interest rate at a particular price point for years. So at this particular price point of 1%, it could be left like this for the next 2-3 years. So we're not expecting any major shift on the interest rates. For the market, we might be seeing spikes across board during these news releases because no one is very certain about what is going to happen. But if you want to be sure and clear about what the interest rate is going to play out in the market, just wait for a day after the interest rate or the next day after the interest rate release. You're going to see markets moving in according to what the interest rate is saying, because most likely it's going to be priced in prior to the news release. So these are the news we're expecting to play out this week. Quickly, we're going to resume our technical analysis as we continue from so we're looking at PCE, Euro USD, and GBP US. For that, we're going to be having Cynthia join us.
Good morning, CJ. Thank you for that. I hope we all are having an amazing time. And we had a very amazing weekend. So I believe you can see my screen, starting up with the XY on the weekly time frame. Of course, we've been looking at this price point for a while now. The price to break into 107.490, and once price gets there, I'm looking to short the XY long term. However, on daily time frame, we're seeing that, of course, we're bullish on the dollar. And after every retracement, we want to keep catching the buys to the upside. Where am I speculating that price will retrace into? Eventually, we should see price retracing into this other block right here at 99.520. Let's see what the 4-hour time frame has for us. So it's caught in a range, but it eventually broke above. All I am looking out for right now are buy opportunities. And where do I want to buy the dollar from? I want to buy the dollar from this left shoulder right here at 101.049. Shoulder, sweep, break, return right back into this level. I want to take buy positions on the X1. Let's quickly head straight to Euro USD to see what the market has for us. On the weekly time frame, of course, we've been looking at this point, the left shoulder residing at 1.06763. And on the daily time frame, we're seeing that price is even breaking below. Right, we're actually looking out for price to retrace right back into this other block right here before continuing its journey to the downside. On the 4-hour time frame, it's more like it's been caught in range, but it has eventually broken out of the range to the downside. On the 1-hour time frame, let's see what the market has for us. Of course, there was an entry right here, shoulder, sweep, shoulder at 1.14143, right? Sweep to the upside, break to the downside, return right back into this level, and I am willing to sell Euro USD. The sell is already happening, it's playing out. You can see the markup right here, short position, and all of that. So do well to apply proper risk management. You could wait for a retracement so that you can catch the sell of Euro USD. This is already playing out, but of course, you want to see price retracing into a premium level before taking positions in the market. On GBP USD, the weekly time frame, we've been actually seeing that price should eventually break down into this level at 1.24683. I beg your pardon. But at this moment, on the weekly time frame, we can actually see that the most recent price action is actually consolidation. Price is consolidating, building liquidity to be grabbed. And of course, I want to see price breaking below into this level. On daily time frame, let's see what this has in store for us. Even daily time frame, GU is caught in a range, sort of. On daily time frame, GU is caught in a range. Let's see what the 4-hour time frame has for us. My most preferred trade for today is Euro US rather. So of course, you know that in a ranging market, you do nothing and you wait for price to break out of the range and do its thing. But however, in 1-hour time frame, we're seeing that this is happening, price is breaking even lower, right? So we could just use this opportunity to see if we can spot any entry for GBP USD. There is none yet at the moment, but best believe that once that comes into fruition, we are going to be calling it out in the market color support group. If you're not yet on that support group, this is a perfect time for you to send us a DM, ask for the link to join the support group, and we'll take it from there. With that being said, let's head straight to the synthetics market to see what the market has for us this week. Good morning, Lekon. What are you seeing in the synthetics market today?
Yeah, good morning, Cynthia. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much. That was an insightful analysis. So for the synthetic market this morning, the market has been a quite consolidating, and we've not really seen a lot of moves, but during the course of the weekend, it has delivered. So Monday seems to be quite a bit. So let's quickly start with V75 this morning to see where exactly are we heading to and what are we going to be doing. So on the daily time frame for V75, we've seen how that price is showing us more of a market structure shift because of this structure that we have here. We've seen this low being taken out already, and after this low is being taken out, we see price, this was a sweep, and we've seen the break here. So we're expecting that price should retrace all the way back into some POIs here so that we can short with 75 once again. And the short, where are we going to be shorting it to? Let's check on the 4-hour time frame to see where we'll be heading to. So on the 4-hour time frame, this is it, very clear there. So we have the inducement here, which is also the liquidity residing at this point. Just above it, we have the fair value gap that we are expecting price to retrace into. This particular buy since Saturday, midnight yesterday rather, we see that price just cleared all these liquidity points. As a matter of fact, I'm looking to buy from this particular 4-hour order block here, but the position was taken out. I was taken out. Then we see how that price came all the way to tap into this order block with this reference point here. And that was what engineered this current buy. Now, this buy is more of a retracement. Then we can now see the continuation of the sell because of the market structure shift that we've seen on the daily time frame. All right, so for that, we see our shoulder resting just at this point, but the clear reference point is this order block on the 4-hour time frame. So I'm of the opinion we are going to see this play out on the 75 index. This is going to be the reference point, and we have 2 POI for the sell. This being the first one here. After price takes out this liquidity, immediately price takes out this liquidity and tap into this fair value gap. Then our stop loss is going to be few pips ahead of this point, and we are doing our 1:3. All right, so that is the first entry. Why the second entry is going to be price coming all the way into this 4-hour order block, and that helps us to narrow our our stop loss. All right, that helps us narrow our stop loss. So it's going to be this way. Then our take profit is going to be a bit lower, how that we can easily now do 1:4, 1:5, or 1:6, knowing fully well that what we are initially targeting is 1:3 here because of the entry that we are waiting for. All right, so this is what I'm seeing on the 75 index. Now straight to 75.1s. From the daily perspective, if you look at 75.1s, we've been very bullish all the way to the upside. However, we want to see levels where price will pull back from and we can easily join, right? So on the 4-hour time frame, we've seen how that price has just been creating higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, and right now we see price take out this liquidity. Now the best thing to do is to see if we are still in alignment with the trend, which is this trend line that we have here, just to follow it. Now looking at that, we know there's high probability price still pulls a little more big back to the downside. So let's go to 1-hour time frame to see where exactly and what is going to happen around that region. Now, based on that, what I'm seeing based on that analysis is that because we already have price take out this low already, we've seen how that price took out this particular low here. So this is a liquidity point for me, and since price came here, so I'll be waiting for this particular low to be taken out, right? Then we can now begin to buy all the way back up again, because this is what I'm seeing the market doing for this week. All right, so we see liquidity just below here. We've seen a sweep of liquidity here, and this is where the real money lies for 75.1s. So I'm of the opinion that we are most likely going to see our price retrace all the way to this level to take out this point. Then we can now begin to buy all the way back up. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that we should wait and see what becomes of price around this region here, meaning when price takes out this low, then we want to look for opportunity to buy, knowing fully well that yes, it's going to be more of a very quick pullback. All right, so this is it. This is what I'm seeing for 75 1x this morning, and it's going to be a very tiny trade kind of, right? And we are going to follow through all the way to the upside. Although I know someone will be like, yes, is this not a bullish pattern here since price already took out this liquidity here and we have this order block here? Yes, very true, you are correct. However, this is going to be a low probability move, because if we decide to start buying from this level here, we are going to have some obstruction, because where liquidity is to call price is still a bit below, and we can easily follow through to the upside. So that is my outlook for 75 1x this morning. And lastly, for VIX 10 index, if you look at the daily time frame of VIX 10 index, just as we have sometimes last week, we expect some level of pullback all the way, and instead we see price consolidating at this point. Where exactly would now be the POI for price right now? So I'm still of the opinion, let's be more patient to see how that price will trade all the way to this low. And when price get to this low, then we can now begin to look for more opportunity to long this 10 index, knowing fully well that we already have a market structure shift around this point, this particular high. We already have a shift at this high. Then we can begin to follow through to the upside. So in a nutshell, what I'm looking out to see for this 10 index is a sell to buy, meaning we are waiting for price to tap into this level. After it takes out this liquidity point, let it tap into this shoulder level, then we begin to target our 1:3. All right, so that is going to be it for the analysis this morning. Remember to trade cautiously in the course of the week. And right now we're going into the commodity market to see what is going on in the commodity index. So we have the commodity queen take us on that. Abigail, good morning.
All right, so good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for that session, Nico. We're going to be looking at what opportunities the commodity currency market presents today. So let us get straight into that together. For those of us who are just joining the session for the first time, this is the VFT's indicator-based strategy. So if you don't have the indicators installed on your platform, that's fine. Just try to not let it distract you from the price points that I'll be calling. These indicators are primarily for users or students of the academy, right? But I'm going to call the price levels so that we all benefit from this analysis together. Starting with AUD/USD on the H4 time frame, what is this market doing? What has it been doing for a long time? So price predominantly, first side looks like it's been buying, right? Predominant structure looking like a buy. When you zoom in to most recent price action, you see where we had a change of character, break of structure to the downside around here. And then right now, in as much as we've had this break of structure to the downside, there's also temporal higher highs and higher lows being formed of this asset class, right? So what am I now saying? Zooming in, is there a sunshine indicator printed on this asset class? The last sunshine indicator we had was right here, which is why this sale happened. Looking at AUD/USD on the H4 time frame, all of this, it's in a range from here to here to here to here. Price is currently in a range on H4, right? So we'll go down to H1 to see if there's going to be a clearer picture on this asset class. On the H1 time frame now, this is the higher highs and higher lows I mentioned that was being formed on H4, and this is the major scales that have given us confirmatory break of structures consecutively. Looking at this now, you see I drew a line right around here. This is a zone I'm watching out for to see if price is going to break above this level. If price comes to break above this level, then it's safe to say the higher highs and higher lows are gaining more strength than the sellers in this market, right? However, if price doesn't get there, we may just see a break below this range, because even on the H1, it still is a range, just giving us more confirmations that the higher highs and higher lows we saw on H1 is going to be since H1 is also in a range, levels we have marked out for more data. On the M5 time frame of AUD/USD, I've marked out yesterday's low, day before yesterday's low, yesterday's high, and day before yesterday's high. What does this mean? I'm basically saying if AUD/USD is going to break above this point and break above this point, then the buyers are stronger. However, if these levels hold, say price breaks below here, retest, come break below here, then the sellers are back in full force. So right now, this is my level that I'm watching out for to see what price does. But it's fine because today is Monday morning. There is still more time for price to eventually pick a direction, which is why it's important that you're part of the Telegram community so that you don't miss out on markups when everything eventually aligns, right? So for AUD/USD right now, it is not as clear as I would prefer. And if it is not obvious, it is dubious. We do not want to force ourselves into this market. However, based on what I'm seeing, right, with price giving us temporal buys to the upside on the H1 time frame, price also giving us these temporal buys, right? If I were to pick a direction, I'll say, okay, it's likely that price if it eventually come, give us temporal sell moves. It's going to be temporal sell moves into the zone before it either does this, break above to continue to buy, or it is going to break below this zone, give a retest and continue to sell. So right now, even on the M5 time frame as well, should price break below, let it load up so we can all see it together. Should price come back and break below this zone, we're going to see sales from here, all things being equal all the way right here. However, price is already giving us a break and retest of this particular level points at, let me call the price point at 0.7001. So I see something like this happen around 15 pips, also likely, right? So for now, on this asset class, it's best preferred to just wait for price to pick a direction and then we act accordingly with it. Moving on to the next asset class, which is NZD/USD on the H4 time frame as well. We see that similar to AUD/USD, price has been buying and buying and buying. Sunshine printed here. So this buy is expected. It's either going to continue to buy or just be a temporary retracement, which it already has done, and either continue, to break structure points in line with what it has done from here to here. Going to the H1 now for a clearer data. What do we see on the H1 time frame? Predominantly buy, minor structures, what sell. Price is currently here, right? So NZD/USD from here, I'm looking at price giving us a 10% sell for this asset class before it either peaks. A buy continuation in line with the sunshine, right? Until a new sunshine is printed on the top side, because price could still give us a bit more move upward. When a new sunshine is printed, then I'll even be more confident that NZD/USD is going to be doing or picking more sell directions. On the 5-minute time frame now, we've had our levels marked out as well. Yesterday's high, low, day before yesterday's high, and low. Okay, let me call out those 4 levels. The first level on M5 is 0.57620. Next is 0.57715. Next is 0.58024. And then 0.58231. These are the 4 major points that we've marked out on M5, right? So price is currently here. It's possible to see NZD/USD give us sales from here, maybe into this indicator all the way down here, very likely. When we see confirmations, then we'll be sure that that is what price is going to be doing. For now, also, we are waiting for confirmatory patterns of this asset class. But overall, what do I think is happening here? There could be a bit more buy, so maybe a new sunshine is printed, and then we'll see 10% opportunities to either continue this move or price comes to break through this level points we've marked out on M5 and continue with the overall move that we've had since somewhere around the 25th of June, okay? By tomorrow, all of these asset classes should be way, way clearer. And then finally for USD CAD on the H4 time frame, price is predominantly upward. Price came here, broke structure point around this zone to the downside. However, when you zoom in, yes, everything is upward. The new sunshine has been printed, so we may see temporal sales of this asset class. And then for the 1 hour time frame, it's also in a range. You see how all of these asset classes are in a range across board. But that's fine. We've had other asset classes that give us clearer data that we will be making, money from this morning, moving into the rest of the trading day, right? So yes, even on the M5 time frame, price is also, of course, price has been doing all of this move, right? So from where price currently is, USD CAD, come back, we test this zone, you should see a break above something like this, and then a continuation. But of course, this is where fundamentals come into play as well. When this is not so clear, we're going to be looking at fundamentals, news releases that will make us pick a direction with more certainty. So make sure you look at platforms like Forex Factory to see the news releases, and we'll know what we'll be doing from there, right? With that being said, thank you so much for joining this session. We look forward to seeing you in the next. If you're not part of the community, you can do that by type in valueflowtrading.com/marketcaller so you can gain access to the Telegram community where we post markups when we have very, very clear data. Thank you once again for joining. Have a profitable trading week. Cheers and God bless.